This is week 9 for my Apprentice review. Last week, Lottie and Ryan Mark, the two youngest contestants, the two very well educated contestants, got the first opportunity to be the project manager of the steam trains. And Lottie won, and Ryan Mark was fired after he failed to give luxury consumerism. Now, this week they had to meet up. They had to meet up at the music theatre, and yeah, I don't know what the place was called, but it was a music theatre. And Thomas Skinner was so, he just ran up to Taskers. He picked up the phone. It either dropped when he picked up the phone or put it down. But the phone dropped when the phone nearly dropped when he picked it up to receive the call, knowing they were going to go to the theatre. And they had to remake a music album, and then the next day pitch it to retailers, and then sell it to consumers. So we have our two project managers, Lewis, because he hadn't been PM since week 1, even though Thomas Skinner wanted to do that job, and Dean, because him and Lottie haven't been PM twice, and him and Lottie haven't been PM twice, and Lottie's done it on the last task, and so Dean would do it on this week. For Dean's team, they had to do this they did this song, which it so made me laugh that there is actually a video of it on YouTube with the song going, "Oh, I have to go, I have to go, I have to go," like that. Like they had to do it, that just made me laugh, because it was just like thinking about, well, you can use that song for advertising, maybe I don't know, you could use it probably for remind old people that they need to go to the toilet. Yeah, that would probably be the right one. And and then Lewis, they had to make a happy sort of theme song. Instead, they misconsumed the conception, and Thomas and Marianne went off to do the filming, and they were basic to do the singing, and they was like, and Marianne was going, "I can make you happy," even though it was so devastating, and the retailer didn't ask for that sort of concept. It's like, it just. And the retailer was like, that does not suit the brief. We can't offer it. And then for the other team with sub-team for Karina and Scarlett, it was like, they were so I think they failed the brief as well. Yeah, they really didn't. I think, I don't know about them, but yeah, I don't. But yeah, Lottie boasts about how she actually, in fact, played the violin for 12 years. 12 years? Was it 12 years? Or done it for 15 years when she was 4 years old. God, really? That's quite educating. I mean, it just shows, with Dean and Lottie, it's really odd, like I say, because, they are 19, they are 20, so pretty much they finished school, only a few years ago. I mean, and that's the bit that, because Lottie would have at least left education. She might have gone to college, Dean might have gone to college and not done sixth form, but, they wouldn't Dean would have left education 2 years ago, and Lottie would have done it 1 year ago. And by the time, because I mean, it was just, how a few years ago there were secondary school students, not very long ago there were secondary school students. Because when I was in year 7, Lottie would be in year 10 and Dean would be in year 11. So, yeah, that is a bit of a. Yeah, I mean, but it's because they listen, they're very articulate, so I kind of do like that idea. So, for pitching their music to the. I mean, Claude liked Dean's team song because actually even Claude was enjoying the music, and then they weren't really, but they were less happy with it. The retailers, they were less fond of it. Claude would probably buy it. But I think if they sold it to Claude, would it count? Would they be allowed to buy it? I mean, Lottie's done like loads of things. I mean, she has done loads of things. I mean, she's done wine sampling at 19. She's played music. She's done a librarian. I mean, she's a librarian. But I mean, it just makes me think, would she be able to get to the final? Because actually, the question is that, what is she going to do a business plan on? It's usually what you do for a living, based on what you do for a living. I mean, what, is she going to have a bookshop or something like that? I mean, would she have a bookshop? I mean, you can't, like Waterstones, I mean, that's a very good business. But Waterstones, that was around like, I don't know, it might not be, like, since the war, or before the war, or after the war, or Edwardian Victorian era times. It might be, I'm going to say post-war. I mean, we're in post-war now era, but historic post-war, because I'll say historic post-war would have been up until 1970. It might have been in the 70s, the 80s that Waterstones was around. I do not know. But, they're in history, so it's probably going to be an old shop. But that's because it's a shop that a long time ago there would have been no internet to buy a book. If you open it in 2019, you probably would be it'll probably be an effed business idea, like, fucked basically is the word I shouldn't. It's not the way I should say it. I should say effed over fucked, but yeah, that's the point I'm making. I mean, for the commission sales, Marianne didn't make really much commission. Thomas made the highest commission of the team because he's a pillow salesman. Just to tell you what he means by pillars, if you watch The Apprentice, he basically means pillows, but he he's not got that sort of sense style of talking. So I'm just going to correct you with the word that he means. If you still don't get it, I'm sure you do know what he means by pillars now. They're pillows. Yeah, but he does look. Yeah, he looks like Yeah, he did do very well actually. He did earn the highest commission. But then on the other hand, Dean's team sold well. Lottie sold well. They are two very young, educated people. I think considering Alan Sugar was born in 1947, I think and Lottie and Dean are not that much older than me. You could, I think Alan Sugar could remind them of their granddad, and they might have, I could, you could see Alan Sugar, like their grandpet, like a grandfather to them. It's just that, and I think at that age, their grandparents could just give anyone a grandparent could just give anyone of their age just money for Christmas, and they'll buy it on tat for the business venture that they're going to run. Alan Sugar's going to give them £25,000 to kickstart a business, so they can actually use money sensibly from an old man who's done very, very well in terms of. Yeah, I think, and I think that's impressive. I think, they did give communication skills to the customers. I think Dean's team did very well. Scarlett and Karina did very well, considering the fact that there was a row last week with Karina and Scarlett. And they won the task at Dean's team, and they did, and I think their treat was music. I think something related to do with music. God knows, can't remember now. Just can't remember. But Lord Sugar said, Thomas, you're very well known to the cafe now. You've got your own membership, and Thomas like, oh yeah, like thanks so much. I think they've got. I could see the bond between Thomas and Lord Sugar, and instead of asking Lewis, who lost second time as project manager, who are you going to bring back into the boardroom, he decided to ask all four to step out, and actually fired Thomas and Marianne, two of them. And I literally thought, they would be the two that would go far. Same with Tom and Jackie last year. I thought they would go very far, but instead they made it to the same week, a double firing in week 9 last year. But I could see Thomas was a little bit of a bully in the sense that he would always have ideas. Same with Jackie, she'd always allocate people as project manager and just wouldn't face up to the music. So I kind of saw Jackie. I think Jackie last year and Thomas this year do. I think they really, they really were bullies, although they were very articulate and seen as people who will go very far into the process. And I think, Lord Sugar didn't, because Lewis knew Thomas sold the highest commission, and therefore it wouldn't be right to bring Thomas back into the board, and I think that's what he decided. I think Marianne and Thomas needed to leave, so that's why he decided to bring them all back. And Pamela, the one who's like Sarah Ann last year, who made it for week 10, did nothing and floated through because of luck. And it's actually Pamela's first time in the boardroom as well, so she's managed to survive 8 weeks just because she's won a task or not been brought back into the boardroom. So she's going to be the project manager, and I think they're sort of assessing that, he sort of sees Tom and Marianne like Tom and Jackie, and Pamela like Sarah Ann. So that's why, because I think if Pamela loses as project manager next week, she'll get fired. My gut instinct is a project manager will be fired, because considering the fact that Pamela's not led a team twice, that's why Lord Sugar's given her the job to lead the team. And also the other one who hasn't PM'd twice is going to be Lottie, so I think, that's my gut instinct. Lottie will be next week's PM. So next week they have to manufacture perfume and sell it to retailers, and Pamela will be the project manager. I'm unsure if Lottie will, but I think it's certain she will, because she hasn't done it twice either, like Pamela hasn't done it twice. So I think them two are going to be the ones, because every other candidate's done it twice. So I will see you very soon next week. Goodbye.